Hello, today we are going to talk about the Metropolitan Handicap and the Belmont Stakes, but I'm only going to give my specific picks. Well, I'm going to talk about my picks, but I'm not going to talk about every horse. Just to speed things up a little bit, because I know if it goes past 15 minutes, that it's not a good chance that people will continue to listen. Let's talk about the Met Mile. I'll give my picks for this race, or my one single pick, but I'll talk about the main contenders. Let's talk about Nysos. Number 1, Nysos. I know what people are thinking. Nysos is 9 to 5. Why would you take him? Why would you take the Baffert horse? Well, this horse deserves to be 9 to 5. He has 7 wins and 9 starts and 2 seconds. And he just finished second in the Saudi Cup to one of the best horses in the world, Forever Young. This horse does look better at 1 mile though. 1 mile, a mile 1/16, 7 furlongs. Those are the distances that are better for this horse. And we are going to watch the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile right now to see how he won the race. And if you follow my channel, remember what I said about loose leaders with ability being hard to catch. Here we have Citizen Bull on a loose lead. And I know Citizen Bull had some missteps in his career, but he had ability. And here he has a loose lead, so it was always going to be hard to catch him. Nysos coming up on the outside. They're both separating from the field, which is a great sign. It just means they are that much better than the other horses in this race. And Citizen Bull is going to make it hard on Nysos. But I don't want to think that this was an average race. They were both running fast. And Nysos does edge him out. Nysos ran a great race. Again, whenever a horse with ability has a loose lead, it's going to be hard to catch him. And Nysos, even though Citizen Bull had a loose lead, Nysos caught him at the end to win by a head. I thought it was impressive. He's going to be my pick in this race. He does need to work out a trip from the rail. My worry is that he's going to get stuck in traffic rounding the turn, but I think it'll be fine. I'm going to pick him anyway. I think he has a lot of ability, and 1 mile is right up his alley. Nysos is my pick for the Met Mile. I want to talk about Journalism, number 7, and why I'm not picking him on top. For a while now, Journalism has been running in longer races, a mile 1/8, a mile 1/4, a mile 3/16. My worry is cutting back to 1 mile will not work out for him. Even though he won at 1 mile earlier in his career, he's not used to it. And we're going to watch the Oaklawn Handicap just to see how he did. And we have Journalism and Sovereignty fighting for the lead. They probably set it up for White Barrio on the outside. You didn't expect Sovereignty to be on the lead in this race. And Journalism, he's usually a stalker. I mean, he could press the lead as he showed here, but he's usually a stalker in his races, maybe 2 or 3 lengths back. You see Journalism losing ground to Sovereignty in second. I don't think it's because of the distance. I think it's because he was running against good horses like White Barrio, Sovereignty. He always runs against the best horses. And maybe that's why he loses ground at the end. I don't think it's because of the distance. A mile 1/8 should be right up his alley. He's a Preakness Stakes winner. Is cutting back to 1 mile going to hurt Journalism? I think it's going to make sure that he's farther back in the beginning. And I don't know if he has enough time at the end to catch up to a horse like Nysos or whoever's on the lead. Journalism will run well. He always runs well. I don't know if I want to pick him on top, and I don't know if I want to bet him, but I'm sure he will be in the trifecta. And those are my thoughts on him. Let's talk about number 3, Antiquarian. He came back in the Westchester Stakes at Aqueduct, and he won by 5 3/4 of a length. My worry is that he didn't beat anything in that race. We're going to watch it right now. I know Bishop's Bay is in that race. Bishop's Bay is a strange horse. Sometimes he runs a big race that makes me think he could run with any horse at 1 mile. And sometimes he runs completely flat. In this race, it felt like Bishop's Bay turned in his bad race. And Antiquarian is drawing away, but again, he beat the bad version of Bishop's Bay. And those other 2 horses aren't that great either, so who did Antiquarian beat in this race? It's possible Antiquarian is good enough to win this race. He ran a 99 on Breeze when he won the Westchester, and I'm sure he's better than that. I'm going to rank him 3rd in this race, and if you're doing an exacta underneath Nysos, maybe he would be the better option other than Journalism. Antiquarian, he could win this race. I'm not going to bet him on top. I'm going to consider him an underneath horse. I just don't know how good he is. Finally, let's talk about Saudi Crown. I thought Saudi Crown was losing form. He ran some bad races in 2024 and 2025, including a 7th place finish in the Hanshin Stakes, and a 5th place finish in the Pegasus World Cup, and a 13th place finish in the 2024 Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Right now, he seems on the right track with 2 wins in a row and 2 102s on Breeze, and we're going to watch the Commonwealth Stakes to see how he won that race. And I always thought this horse needed a lead for his best run, but here he is winding up on the outside, the light gray horse, and he was in 3rd at one point, but now he's passing horses and he's still drawing clear in the stretch run. But Saudi Crown, in his older age, it feels like he's learned a new dimension. He doesn't have to be on the lead, he doesn't have to be fighting for the lead. He could be in 3rd, maybe a length behind, and he could still run his best race. I don't know if he can win this race. This is a difficult race, the Mint Mile, and these horses are tough. Nisos, Journalism, Antiquarian could be anything. This is a true Grade 1, and I don't know if this horse can win this race, but he certainly can hit the board. I'm going to say he's an underneath horse, and maybe if I did an exacta in this race, it would be Nisos over Antiquarian and Saudi Crown. Nisos is my top pick for the Mint Mile, and I'm just going to single him in the Mint Mile Belmont Stakes double. He's 9-5, and if he was 9-5 at post time, I'd be happy with that. Nisos is my top pick. Journalism might run well. Antiquarian could be anything. Saudi Crown is on the improve, but Nisos is my top pick in this race. Let's head on over to the Belmont Stakes, and my second pick in this race is Chief Wallaby, number 3. He had some trouble in the Kentucky Derby, which everyone saw, but I still want to pick him anyway because I thought he was a good horse before that race, and I could give him an excuse for that trouble that he encountered in a stretch run. I know everyone has seen this, but I want to watch it again. Chief Wallaby, the jockey has the white silks, and he's in the middle right now, getting bounced around like a pinball. And after that bouncing around, he still tries. He goes towards the rail and still tries to move forward. I thought it was impressive. It's hard to tell how much the bumping affected him. Maybe if he wasn't bumped around like that, he would have been right there with the top 3 horses, rather than going over to the rail. Is 3-1 unfair on Chief Wallaby? No, I don't think so. I think that's about where he should be. Is this horse just a turf horse that can't pass horses on dirt? I've heard that argument before. I don't think you can say that off the Kentucky Derby, because he did get bumped around, and you could give him a pass for the trouble he encountered. In the Florida Derby, he kicked in fine. I think one of the problems is he doesn't want to go through tight spaces. In this race, there aren't 18 horses like there were in the Kentucky Derby, and maybe encountering traffic will be less of a problem. I'm going to give him one more chance in this race. Chief Wallaby is one of my selections for the Belmont Stakes. For my top pick in the Belmont Stakes, I'm going with number 6, Growth Equity. He's 12-1, and he comes off a 2-length win in the Peter Pan Stakes. I know the field was a question mark in the Peter Pan, maybe not the strongest Peter Pan Stakes field, but Talk to Me Jimmy, the runner-up, remember he faded in the Wood Memorial Stakes, and we saw Napoleon Solo and Iron Honor both fade in the same race as well, and they went on to run 1-2 in the Preakness Stakes. That's something to keep in mind. Talk to Me Jimmy isn't a bad horse. We're going to watch the Peter Pan Stakes right now. Alright, let's bring up the Peter Pan. Remember what I said about horses who have a loose lead being hard to run down. We see Talk to Me Jimmy with a half in 48.35. I know there's a long shot pressuring him, but whenever there's a long shot pressuring a good speed horse, it almost feels like nothing to the good speed horse. And Guffey is going to fade right now. Growth Equity is winding up on the outside. And Talk to Me Jimmy and Growth Equity, they're going to separate from the field, which is a great sign. Growth Equity is going to inch clear of Talk to Me Jimmy, but Talk to Me Jimmy does have some fight left in him, as he should after a 48-35 half. Growth Equity is the best horse in this race, though. He was wide on both turns, and he still inches clear of Talk to Me Jimmy, despite the fact that Talk to Me Jimmy had easy fractions and a comfortable lead. Growth Equity went on to win anyway. I know there's a question mark over Growth Equity getting 10 furlongs. He does have Nyquist on top, but the sprinter side comes from his dam side. Maybe that's okay, because whenever you have one side that is route and the other side that is sprint, it's possible that the route side will balance out the sprint. Now, I would prefer the stamina to come from the dam side, but in this case it comes from the sire side, and I think that's fine. Visually, it doesn't look like Growth Equity has a problem, although he's only been up to 9 furlongs. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, and he's 12 to 1. That's part of the reason why I'm picking him. If he was like 3 to 1 or 4 to 1, I don't think there'd be any point in picking Growth Equity. 12 to 1, 10 to 1, I think those are the odds to take him. Maybe even 8 to 1. Growth Equity is my top choice in the Belmont Stakes. To round this all up, there's a Mint Mile Belmont Stakes double, and I'm going to single Nisos in the Mint Mile. And in the Belmont Stakes, I'll use Growth Equity and Chief Wallaby. I might have to hit up Chief Wallaby for more money because he's shorter odds. Growth Equity will be on my ticket though. So Nisos with Growth Equity and Chief Wallaby, that's my play for the Mint Mile Belmont Stakes double. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll be back soon with a recap of the Belmont Stakes.